Paul says, yeah, even though he's not perfect, right? No one is perfect. But as he set forth the truth plainly, without deception, no distortion, he commends himself to every man's conscience before God, in the sight of God. Okay? Now, about commending ourselves, listen up. This is the part I want you to get. With regards to commending ourselves, let me say again, we are all sinners who are never worthy to commend ourselves. Who can commend yourself? I mean, if you have done something good and you try to gain credit for it, hey, see, I've done it, No, that's pride, or we call it self-glorification. So apparently, Paul is not commending himself. He's not telling people how good or how holy he is. But as ministers of Christ, people are looking at him. People are scrutinizing him. And people probably are asking, hey, are you sure your God is real? Are you sure? Are you sure you are not making this up? Are you sure you are preaching the gospel without a motive? Or are you trying to get the praises of men? Or are you trying to earn a living out of it? No, people are questioning him, all this. These things, people are questioning him. So, what do you think? When a person, people are, it's all right if you are doubtful of me, but never doubt the gospel that I'm preaching. You get what I mean? Never doubt. I heard people ever say to me, Pastor, I can leave the church anytime because I have no obligation. But you can't because you are drawing salary from the church. So you can't leave. So that kind of thing. So when people tell me that kind of thing, I was like, question mark, But the thing is, you can insult me. It's not me I'm concerned of, but is this the way you know God? Is this the way you know the gospel? I'm afraid that the gospel will be devalued in you or through what you have spoken. So Paul is he's struggling with this. Okay, he's struggling with this. So he told the Corinthians church, remember, I've taken nothing from you. Every time I come to you, I've given my all. I shepherd you, I pastor you with all my love, my passion. Everything I've done among you is for the sake of what? It's purely for the sake of loving God and loving you. That's all. And I set forth the truth plainly to you, just for you to know God, without distortion, without deception. I take nothing from you, no hidden motives, no other thing. You see, that's what Paul is trying to say. So that's why he say, so now I'm living in the sight of God. You have sinned. And I'm doing this because of the Holy Spirit in me that drives me to, that compels me to. So, I'm commending myself now. I'm showing you, I'm not a lunatic. I'm not a liar. You get what I mean? I'm not that God is real in me. He's convicting me. He's giving this love for you in me so that I'm doing all these things. I'm commending myself to every man's conscience. And those of you who have a conscience, you will know I'm doing this by the Holy Spirit, by the truth of the gospel that has been imprinted in me, nothing else. That's what Paul is trying to say. You get what I'm trying to say? So he went on to say, so people, if we have lived this way before you and people are still against us, they're not against us, they're against the gospel. If people are still veiled, why should I believe in Jesus? That's because they're perishing. As simple as that. So remnants, I want to encourage you, live out the truth of God for the gospel. Actually, your living is the most powerful testimony. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, I think about it now. We have always been talking about the glory of God and that kind of thing. Now, what do you think? How are you going to present the glory of God to people if you have not suffered for being a Christian and you are still joyful about it? No, you can only show the glory of God. Are you going to bring some lights from the heaven and I show you the glory of God? No, right? So you suffered. Sometimes you suffered. You suffered because you have lost You suffered because of your failures. You suffered because of your fighting with sins and all. Yeah, but I'm joyful still. I'm grateful to God who saved me. And from there, people see the glory of God, the mercy of God. Am I right or not? So that's why sometimes we suffer. How are you going to portray the abundance of God if you haven't been using what you have to bless people? Am I right? Not your resources, your money, sometimes using it. Even people who have lots more than you, they're not using it, but you're really using it to gain worldly friends, to bless people, to bless your brethren, for the work of God. How are you going to portray that abundance of God? No? So when you live out like that, you portray abundance. How are you going to portray the perseverance of God? Sometimes God is a persevering God, right? And I want to see it in a Christian. How? When you have suffered for doing good and you have suffered over a prolonged period, am I right? Sometimes people always say, where is justice? Where is justice? No. Sometimes God doesn't give you that justice, but through you, He shows that perseverance. You get what I mean? So people who are suffering for quite some time, when they look at you, they realize our God is a persevering God. You get what I mean? This is the way of evangelism. We commend ourselves to man's conscience in the sight of God, so that everyone who has a conscience will know this is God living through us.